Alright, guys, gals, and everything in between. Another week, another Doctor Who episode, so let's do this. Oh my god, Moffat, can you please stop ripping my brain apart with these two-part episodes? It's driving me insane. Anyways, now that I've mentally sort of calmed down, not really, whatever. Who cares? Let's go. Alright, yeah. This week, we have an episode called Under the Lake. And so, Under the Lake, we start off where they want to go on an old-school, old-fashioned adventure. So the TARDIS ends up in this underwater city-type base area. And from the intro, we can tell that they're dealing with some kind of paranormal entity. I love that we see that the Doctor, he's trying to talk to the TARDIS. He's like, what's wrong? Tell me what's wrong. Because it's not normal, it wasn't their planned destination, which, as we know, the TARDIS has done many times. So then, as we go throughout the ship, we see these two paranormal-type characters, and the Doctor's trying to talk to him, and all of a sudden, they don't seem real keen on talking. In fact, they seem like they want to kill him. So they run, and what I like is, they run into this room, and they're looking at this spaceship-type thing. And when they're looking at the spaceship, he's like, wait a minute. Like, is this what you're trying to show me, weird ghost people? And the weird ghost people, well, their answer is a little bit more extreme, but they decide to go all postal on him and pick up weapons and go after Peter Capaldi and Jenna Coleman. So they're like, yeah, no. And it was a really humorous exchange where he's like, okay, I don't think that they want us to see the ship. He's like, well, they're picking up weapons and they're about to go kill us. So, yeah, I don't think so. So they're running and they run into a group of people. And one thing you don't see very often in just a random episode of Doctor Who, but I like that this happened, is they knew who the Doctor was. He flashed his psychic paper, and they were like, wait a minute, you're from your unit, the Doctor, I followed your work. And I was like, okay, so the Whovians against the ghosts, let's do it. The crew is getting killed off one by one. Now this one was very reminiscent. They even had a character similar to him, of the Bert from Aliens, and then, like, just the jerk character in an 80s movie. He was in this. One thing I love in this episode was the tone, because this tone felt like one of those old school horror thriller movies where you got into a place and the place was bad, but they're like discovering it themselves, and there was that sense of mystery and awe, and I liked that. So now, I cannot believe I'm going to make this reference. It boggles my mind. I'm sorry that I have to make this reference. Oh, I hate even having to say it. There was a segment. Fight it. Fight it. No, you gotta say it. You gotta say it. Okay. Calm down. There's a segment that reminds me of Alien 3. I'm sorry, guys. Alien 3. It reminded me of Alien 3. They do this chasing where they're trying to chase the ghosts, and it is straight up the scene out of Alien 3 when they're trying to lure the xenomorph through the prison corridors. It was that scene. Granted, Doctor Who did it a lot better, but still, it broke my heart. Because I had to think about Alien 3 today, and that is something I never try to do. It broke my heart. Because I had to think about Alien 3 today, and that is something I never try to do. One interesting thing is that we have a deaf character who's there, and the Doctor is fascinated by her. He's like, I know I can speak sign language, and he completely doesn't. And which was a humorous exchange as well. And so, in summary, the Doctor is trying to figure out with her, because she is easily the most clever person in the room. She's also one of the more heroic. She's a captain. And then with the cloister bell going off at the same time, he's bouncing back and forth between his TARDIS and these people. And they're figuring out that they can only move when it has the illusion of nighttime. So with nighttime, they're trying to figure out why they only come out then. And they go back and forth on whether or not they're ghosts, and the Doctor eventually, after he contradicts himself, and he's like, you know what, whatever, they're ghosts. And a random thing, Clara has these cards for him to teach him how to be more personable because he's not at the moment. And I love this, where he's in there and he's like, oh yeah, this is so great. And he's having almost like a David Tennant moment. This episode had a lot more of the humor, throwing back to like, David Tennant had the good humor, balance of humor, along with the super serious stuff. Capaldi kind of, it was a little bit wonky with the balance of that, but this episode had it spot on. And so Capaldi is sitting there and he's trying to figure it out, and he goes back and Clara's like, the cards, and it reminded me straight up of a politician. And then all of a sudden he pulls it out and he's thumbing through the cards, and then he's like, I'm so sorry for your loss, and he just keeps going, and it's so awkward, and they're all just looking at him so confused. It's so great. I love that little exchange. That was probably my favorite part of the episode. And of course, as they figure all this out, the ghosts are mouthing words, and it's coordinates. And they're trying to figure out where the coordinates are, and of course the doctor figures it out. Now, I got a surprise I didn't really expect, is when they're trying to figure out, the ghosts are getting clever and they're shutting off power and the body count is raising. There's one character that managed to get away, not sure what that's all about, but the deaf lady also seems to be really protective of this kid, but the ghost didn't kill him. I thought maybe there was something else distracting him. I have no idea. The mind races. I've heard theories like he's actually in the caucus, because they pull up a caucus from this underwater submarine, and there's someone in it, and the doctor's kind of like giving that swashbuckling adventurer speech where he's like, every time I think it couldn't get more interesting, it does. And I love that because we haven't really seen that like adventurer from Capaldi yet, and now we are. And I feel like this episode solidifies it as an adventurer, because when I was watching Doctor Who, one of the magic moments that hit was on an episode I believe called Gridlock or Lockdown, I believe Gridlock. And it's where David Tennant's going through with all the cat people in the cars that are stuck in the freeway. And I was sitting there as he's going down the cars, and I was like, this is a show of a classic adventurer who is just trying to save the day wherever he goes. But it really, to me, felt like that classic adventurer when you hear about those people. Where it's like, oh, it's an adventure. That was that episode that did it for me. For Capaldi, this is the episode that did it for me, honestly. And I loved it because he was sitting there as he was talking over the coffin, like, oh, there's been I always am surprised. To me, it rang a note true to me. And so as we go on, the episode's almost over, is the ghosts are shutting down certain power and flooding the certain chambers, so they're having to shut it off and race with the ghosts. And the cloister bell of the TARDIS has been going off and on, because the TARDIS is afraid of ghosts. Capaldi's like, okay, I'm gonna get to the TARDIS, and I'm gonna go back in time, and I'm gonna fix this before it even happens. We'll all be good. Clara, coming back for you, because he always has to leave Clara behind, even though I'd never leave you behind, Clara. Just letting you know. Let me just have that moment that my girlfriend ghost slaps me. And she knows I have a celebrity crush on Clara. Doesn't matter, I am digressing. She's sitting there and she's like, okay, the doctor's gonna come back, it's no big deal. He always does this. And then all of a sudden, they're like, oh wait, look, there's ghosts coming towards us. And I was slowly like, no. And then they reveal it, and there's a ghost floating towards her, and it's Ghost Doctor. Dr. Ghost. And he's like looking all creepy, and he looks all methed out, and he's just like floating there, and I'm like, creepiness. And it was awesome. And then all of a sudden it's a to be continued. And I was like, what? And my grandmother, who was watching the episode, was like, what? Was like, no, how many two-parters are we going to get this season? Oh my god, it is leaving me on such speculation I can't focus on anything else. So, oh my god, loved this episode. What did you guys think? And who do you think is in that weird coffin thing? And it was a just mind-blowing experience for me anyway. With that, I loved this episode. What did you guys think? Comment below, let me know. I love the comments on these. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We've got plenty more videos coming to you.